कैसे कह दूं कि आप पास नहीं होते हैं, कैसे कह दूं कि आप पास नहीं होते हैं, महसूस पल पल करता हूँ मगर दीदार नहीं होते, यादों को तेरी सीने में बिठाए जीते, लब तो फिर किसी आसूदगा में जाते, कैसे My most prayerful salutations at the divine Jesus' feet, beloved Bhagavan, dear sisters and brothers, boys and girls, Sai Ram, Namaskar.
Sai Ram.
Swami once called us in for interview. Those were the times in the early 80s when my grandmother had been blessed by Bhagwan to ultimately come to Prashanthi Nilayam for her pilgrimage. It took a lot of praying to Bhagwan for that to happen. And ultimately when she was in Prashanthi Nilayam, it was all most wonderful interviews after interviews and interviews. And during one of those interview sessions, we were all together with Swami. And there were some devotees during that interview. And Swami all of a sudden materialized a huge diamond. And he showed it to everyone and said, how beautiful it looks. Do you want? He was enticing everyone. And all of a sudden, Swami said, you can have a look at it. And all the interested people, all those who were there, they almost bounced on the diamond. And they were looking at it. And maybe they were also desiring, they were also praying that Swami should give it to me. And then suddenly Swami said this, हीरा को देखता है, हीरो को भूलता है. It was one of those beautiful experiences that we had. And you will find mention of this in some articles, some books also.
Have to say it in English.
हीरा को देखता है, हीरा means diamond. So you are enchanted by the diamond, but you are forgetting the creator, hero. हीरा को देखता है, हीरो को भूलता है. During one of my early days in Vrindavan, once I was going home on vacation. And these were eye-openers for me, so I am sharing with you. I was to go home, take an evening train, and after the Vrindavan bhajan session in the evening, Swami suddenly said, when is your train? First he said, when is your plane? I said, Swami, train, Swami. When are you going? When is your train? I said, Swami, 10 o'clock at night. Then he suddenly said, Sonam is going home. He was addressing the VIPs. Sonam is going home. Who wants to take him to the railway station? And imagine all hands went up. And ultimately Swami selected one of them, Mr. V. Balu. And Swami said, okay, you take him to the railway station. And then after the Mangal Aarti, after Swami had gone upstairs, Mr. Balu told me that I'll bring the car near the entrance of the hostel. You be ready with your luggage. And then he came there. All eyes were on me for his wonderful VIP treatment. And I got into his car and he drove me all the way first to his home, his residence. He had already sounded off to his wife that I am bringing so and so, one of the students here. And then everything was prepared and the table was laid down for me. There was a jhula in the middle of the living room. He asked me to sit on the jhula. And I sat there. Then he brought buttermilk for me. First he said, you have to cool down, you drink this buttermilk. They pampered me so much, fussed over me so much, and then ultimately left me in the railway station. When I returned home from home to Vrindavan, the first thing Swami asked me was, did V. Bhaluti treat you properly? Imagine I am coming home after 20 days, after vacation. And Swami said, as though it had just happened yesterday. Swami said, did V. Balu treat you properly? I said, yes, Swami. Did you sit on the jhula? He asked me. Definitely V. Baluji wouldn't have told Swami that I kept him on the jhula. Then Swami said, when you are with the hero, you also become a hero. If you go and mix up with zeros, you become a zero, he said. With God, you are a hero. Minus God, you are a zero. This is what Swami told me. Everyone wants to become a hero, but they become platform heroes, practical zeros, he said. You would have heard me so many times, but for me, in that particular context, it meant so much. Then it was at that time, he said a very simple thing, and I heard this over and over in the days to come in Prashanti Nilayam. Swami, in fact, telling this to small children from the primary school. Swami would call it spiritual mathematics. And Swami would tell them, and at that time Swami told me, 0 plus 0 कितना होता है? He said. I said, Swami, 0 ही होता है. फिर एक 0 लगाओ कितना होता है? Swami, 0. फिर एक 0, फिर एक 0. कितना होता है? 5 zeros, Swami, 0. आगे एक लगाओ कितना होता है? Swami said, 1 lakh. I told Swami. हाँ, 5 zeros का वैल्यू बढ़ गया एक लगाने से. अब वो 1 को माइनस करो कितना होता है? You are back to 0. And I have heard Swami say this so many times. And you know, at that age, it makes an indelible impact. When Swami tells you, like 3 minus 1 is equal to 1. You would have heard this so many times. Have you? How does 3 minus 1 become 1? Swami said, the whole prapanch, if you look at it, is a reflection. And to reflect, you need a mirror. And then you are here. And then you see your reflection in the mirror. So 3. You remove the mirror, only you exist. So mirror, in fact, it is the Chittamakara school of Buddhism. Those propounders of the Chittamakara school also, they also taught say the same thing. And Swami would, from various strains of this truth, Swami would bring together. And without quoting the source, because he is the source, Swami would say, I am not here to show you what a big Pandit I am, how much I know. I am not here to prove that. My thing, whatever I am telling you is very simple. I want you to understand that you are only one. So every time it used to be like that. When my grandmother came to Puttaparthi, it was a very difficult situation. Every time she would tell me, she was almost, at that point of time, 89 years old. She said, I want to go to Puttaparthi and see Satya Sai Baba. And I asked Swami, Swami said, how old is she? I told him her age. Swami said, why should she come here then? She should go upstairs, up here. Kahe ko idhar aana hai? 3 years after constant praying, one day Swami suddenly said, bring her here, you can call her. And then it makes these are all simple experiences, but how profound it is. It becomes, you know. He asked me, you can go and bring your grandmother. I sent a telegram to my mother saying that Granny has been allowed by Swami to come to Puttaparthi. And Swami said, why do you need to go? I said, to escort them, Swami, I want to go. Okay, you go up to Calcutta. Don't go beyond Calcutta. And it was very strange for me because beyond Calcutta, in fact, till Calcutta, that was the worst part of the journey, and they would need my help. When I reached Calcutta, I thought maybe Swami, this is how the mind plays fantastic tricks. I thought maybe Swami wants me to go up to Calcutta and doesn't want me to suffer further. So he would have told me that, but I think I can go up to Siliguri. Siliguri is the nearest town. So I went up to Siliguri. And there, when I went to the Sikkim Nationalized Transport Office, where my cousin was a deputy general manager, when I met him, he said, your family, they are already here in Siliguri. And my granny could never even think of getting into a car or anything moving. She would just not do it. She had this type of motion sickness. It was very acute. So the worst part of the journey, I thought I should be with her, holding her, and that I couldn't. They were already there in Siliguri. So I went to see them, and she was in the peak of her health. And she smiled and everything, and then I told them that I'm just stone's throw from my home, Gangtok. I would like to go to Gangtok, see my house and come back. They told me, how stupid you are. We are all here, why do you want to go there? The house is locked. I said, because I don't know when I'll be able to go to Sikkim again. I just want to see Gangtok, our home, and then I want to come back. Then they relented and gave me the bunch of keys. I went to Gangtok, and it was raining cats and dogs. And I didn't enjoy anything. It was so cold, so damp, so wet. And I entered the home, my house. Then the next day, I started very early from here, and it was pouring, it was raining like anything. By the time I reached a place called Tista, there's a river, and Tista bridge. The bridge was closed because of incessant rain and heavy rain. The level of the river water level was rising. So I thought that I would rather go to nearby Kalimpong, because still there was a lot of time. They were to take an evening train from a place called New Jalpaiguri station. They were to take a train called the Darjeeling Mail to Calcutta, and from there we were supposed to board another train to South India. So what I did was, I went to nearby Kalimpong, where there was another student came from that place, Robin Diari, his Vidanand's batchmate. So I thought maybe his parents would like to send something and I could carry that. Instead of wasting time and in the traffic, I would rather go there. So I went to Kalimpong and spent some time with his mother. And then she wanted me to take a football boot or something, so I carried that and thought that really Swami has guided me so well to carry that in a sweater. And then all of a sudden I thought that I was conscious that I have to reach Siliguri town in time. So by the time I reached the motor stand, all the vehicles, everything, they had all left the place, they had all gone because they were afraid of the impending bad weather. So they had already left, and there was nothing for me to, no conveyance for me that would take me to Siliguri. So I got on a truck which took me to some place, and then I was transshipping from here to there, and ultimately when I reached Siliguri, it was 7 o'clock. 7:30 was the train from New Jalpaiguri. I was still in Siliguri. It would take me at least half an hour to 45 minutes to reach New Jalpaiguri. So by the time I was so desperate, then I went to my cousin, this deputy general manager, and he just scolded me left and right and said, why did you have to go to Sikkim in the first place? You have made them, they were so anxious till the last moment, they were so full of anxiety, they were tensed up because of you. Instead of helping them, you have really given them so much anxiety, so much tension. The only way for me to go now to reach Calcutta was to take a bus, and they call it a rocket bus. It's run by the state government, and it goes non-stop. So I got on a bus like that, and it was a terrible journey from New Jalpaiguri from Siliguri town to Calcutta, and by 5 o'clock in the morning I was in Calcutta. And 6 o'clock, the train would reach Sialda station. So I was there in Calcutta before them. And it was exactly in Calcutta that I went to receive them. I went to the railway station and received them, and they, of course, they were so kind enough to, they said how much you would have suffered coming by bus. And this is how we reached Puttaparthi. No sooner we reached Prasanthi Nilayam, I went to the accommodation office and requested, I said, Swami has asked my grandmother to come. Whoever it is, Swami, they told me, you can go to shed number 5. It's always shed number 2 or 5 for Indians. But for foreigners, always a good place. Because they come from far away. But then I used to argue, I used to think that these people, by the time we reached Puttaparthi, people would come from this country twice, 2 times to Puttaparthi. And I was sitting in a nice plane, and how much we suffer, and this is the type of step-motherly or step-brotherly treatment you get. Then I just washed up and went and sat on the portico. And Swami came straight to me and first he asked me, where is grandmother? And I said, Swami, Granny is there in shed number 5. Swami said, why is she there? I have already arranged a room for her. Then Swami called Kutub Raoji, Chiranjeevi Raoji, and so much urgency. Where is that room number A5? East Prasanthi A5. Can you imagine in Puttaparthi to get a room in East Prasanthi A5, just overlooking the mandir? That was something, you could never, it was a dream come true. And then, after everything was settled and they were cleaning up the room and everything, then Swami turned to me and said, you had a nice time? How was it in Sikkim? Swami ko disobey karta hai, aisa hota hai. You disobeyed me, so you suffered miserably. So a nice way of Swami telling me, and apart of it, yesterday I was telling you how my grandmother, she had a darshan of Tara throughout. Did I tell you yesterday? So it was so beautiful. Like my granny, after coming to Puttaparthi, she didn't know any other language other than her native tongue, which is Lokya. Lokya means the southern dialect of Tibetan southerners dialect. So she could only speak that language, and her Ishta Devata was throughout her life Tara. Tara is the consort of Avalokiteshvara, and she had been her Ishta Devi throughout her life. So she would tell us that this is a nice place and Bhagavan is so kind and merciful, but I need to go to Sikkim to get my deliverance ultimately. It's not going to happen here. So she was confused about divinities. It was sort of thing I thought. So ultimately, one day, it was 1984, and Guru Purnima, when she went and sat there for darshan, Swami gave a beautiful discourse, Guru Purnima discourse, and throughout the discourse, what she saw was the beautiful form of Tara in Swami's place. And I asked her, what did she look like? She said, beautiful long tresses of hair, most exquisite, so most enchanting, most beautiful, and so exuding so much brilliance. And I knew the moment I saw her, I knew that I am looking at Tara, because iconographically my grandmother knew all the details of Tara. And as she had been propitiating that figure, that image, that icon, she had the darshan of Tara throughout, and that day she was beaming with delight when we reached the room. She said that, my deliverance is here. I am totally assured that Swami has assured me that he is Tara, I don't know, that I am going to get my deliverance here. And since that day, there was no going back. And she lived for 4 full years there in Puttaparthi. She had some of the most beautiful experiences in Puttaparthi. And then ultimately she merged with Bhagavan. And when she merged in Bhagavan, none of us were around her. My sister was writing an examination in Hyderabad. My mother had a fracture, so she couldn't go